Hello, hello, hello. I am back to do a quick video on Zatima. Zatima is back. So we're gonna do a quick video on that real quick. But a quick review on Zatima. So all things in this video are alleged and they are from my opinions only. They are used for entertainment purposes. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As we all know, that last season ended with Zach's mother dying, and this first episode it starts back up where they are talking about. Well, they found out about his mom dying, and Fatima telling Zach that she was pregnant. So this episode starts out with Fatima and Zach, and Fatima is asking Zach how he's doing in the loss of his mother. He's unsure how he is, but she comes out of the bathroom. He pretends as though he's asleep, and she was getting ready to walk out of the bedroom. He was like, "I know you're just not gonna leave out of here without saying anything," but she was like, "Dude, you act like you asleep, so I was gonna let you be asleep." But he tells her he doesn't know how he's really feeling. And she tells him that he needs to talk to Dr. Reed. As we know from last season, he had a therapist, or he had started seeing a therapist, a life coach, whatever he was. But he had started seeing him, and he told her that, he would call him after the funeral. He tells her, he doesn't know anything about planning a funeral. He doesn't know anything about any of this. So she told him she would help him plan the funeral. So Zach is still talking about, his money got taken. So now his bank account is in the red. You got Bryce saying that he would get the money from his father. And so, Tima was telling him that she would give him the money since his bank account was in the red. And he's like, "Nah, we're not going to do that." He was like, "If my account gets in the burgundy, then he'll take the money from her. But as of right now, he doesn't want to take money from her." They started talking about names for the baby. And one of the names that they came up with was Zatima. And he said Zachariah, whatever other name he said, she was like, "We're not doing that." And she went to bend over to pick up her shoes. He told her no, he would pick them up for her, and she wasn't going to be bending over for the next 9 months. We know that's a lie, but it is what it is. The next scene we will see is when it'll go to the outside, and we'll see Preston walking up, and Deja is she's getting out of her car, getting ready to take groceries to the house. However, she sees Preston. She goes to flirting with her. She's flirting with her real bad. She is flirting so hard. And he asks because she asked what her name was. She was like, her name is Deja, and she's a neighbor or whatever. So he was like, he was there to see Zach, and she told him to go. Did he want her to go knock on the door? He told her no, but she was out there steadily getting her little flirt on. Fatima came outside and basically pumped Deja into going back in her house. And so she started talking to Preston and asked, what was he doing over that way? Preston said, he came to see Zach, and Fatima took him in the house so that he could see Zach. First, he asked Fatima how Zach was doing, and she told him, "You can ask him yourself." So she took him in the house. She screamed out, Zach, Preston's here. He was like, okay, he's coming down. He came downstairs. He asked Zach how he was doing, and then he asked him, how he was holding up with the loss of his mother. So Zach asked Preston how did he know about his mother, and he told him that Danny had made a post about it. Well, she was posting about prayers for him, and Zach says then it was posted for attention. He was posted for attention. She wouldn't care about him for real. We don't know. We know that Danny cares about Zach, so it is what it is. Of course, Zach Preston is asking a lot of questions. And Zach is getting irritated because he was like, "You asking all of these questions? What are you, the police?" So he went to telling Zach went to telling him about he was gonna go to the office, but this dude there because they was talking about Bryce when Bryce tried to kiss him or whatever, and Preston called him a cockle doodle doo. Like, what's a cockle doodle doo? But because they were having all this back and forth because every thing Preston said, Zach took it as because Preston told him he wanted to hang with him. He misconstrued that because of the hang. Then he was like, chill. He was like, Then they was talking about rolling. It's like every word that they were saying, they was like, it had some kind of sexual connotation to it. And Zach is now at the point that he feels a way because he's like, do you want to, hang with me? Why do you want to, spend time with me? Because Bryce done screwed him up because now he thinking you want to hang with me because you want me, or you just want to hang with me because you my friend, because Bryce was trying to kiss the man. So now he got his guard up with all the dudes at this point. So it was crazy. We will see where Zach's friends, you got Tony, Nate, and Connie. They are meeting up, and Connie tells them that, Zach's mom had an insurance policy and she left Connie as the executor, and they wanted her to divvy up the money between Jeremiah and Zach. She does not want that responsibility. So she says she's gonna take it to Fatima and let Fatima deal with it. But she said that the insurance company were sending letters out to Zach and Jeremiah, and she was scared of what Jeremiah might do. So they tell her Tony tells her to talk to Fatima. And of course, Nate wasn't on board with that. And Tony was like, didn't you just apologize? He was like, yeah, I meant my apology, but I don't think, she need to talk to her. And then he flipped it like, well, maybe you should talk to her. We could use this as a test to see, where she really stands. And Tony tells her they would get her the address to her job so that she could talk to her. Next, we will see where Fatima and Angela are meeting up in the parking deck. And of course, they ask whether or not Bryce has gotten the money from his dad. Bryce, as far as Angela knows, she doesn't know if Bryce has gotten the money or not. So she was saying that she hopes so. So they're talking while they're going into the office. And once they walk into the office, Fatima sees Connie. And she's like, now what are you doing here? And Connie was like, I'm waiting to talk to you because she needs help. So, when they go into the office, they were asking a bunch of questions, but she wanted to talk to Fatima by herself. So when they got in the office, she was telling her, what kind of girl I am. I don't know anything about this legal stuff. So she tells Fatima she wants to know if she she gives her the paperwork that's in the envelope, and Fatima reads it. And of course, it's she wants to sign over the executiveship over to Fatima because she feels like she doesn't know anything about this legal stuff, and she would rather Fatima and Zach deal with it. She's scared that Jeremiah is gonna do something to her, so she really doesn't want to handle the situation. So back at the office, Zach and Preston, where they go to the office, and he asks Bryce about the money. Preston tells him that it's a nice office, and he asks, how's the real estate thing? And basically, he was asking different questions and stuff. And Zach was asking him, because he was asking Zach how much money he needs and stuff like that. And Zach kept trying to, he didn't kept trying. He did brush him off, because he like, you milk cows and wrangle horses and stuff. You ain't making money like that. I think this was the second or third time he had asked him how much money he needed, because I feel like in the end, he gonna be the one to bail them out of this whole situation. That's what I think. But after that, we'll go back to where Connie calls Fatima and tells her that, because she had left the office by this time. And then later she calls her and tells her that Jeremiah had found out about the money. And he was probably gonna come see her or gonna call him or whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, the life insurance policy is $25,000. So if they split it up, that's $12,500 a piece. And they're like, you can't give a crackhead like Jeremiah that kind of money, because he gonna kill himself, basically. But we'll go back to where we're seeing Bryce apologizing for investing the money. Because remember, if you watched last season, you will know that Bryce was trying to invest in this property, and him and Zach had a conversation about it. Zach told him no, he didn't want to invest in the property because they didn't have enough money. Bryce takes it upon himself to invest in the money, invest in the property anyway, and they didn't have, whoever the third partner or whatever they were supposed to have fell through, and they ended up taking all the money from Zach's account. So they like $3,000 in the hole. So, Bryce is still apologizing for investing the money, but now it really doesn't matter, because Zach is like, you done took $1.5 million out of my account, and now I can't even afford to bury my mother. So Preston again asks Zach how much money he needs. Next thing we'll know, we'll see Jeremiah where he goes to see Fatima. He hires Kite, and he's like, where's the money? And she's like, she doesn't have any money. And so, he said, where's the money? Like, she got no money. So they he grabbed her purse, they tussled over it, and then she falls, he pushed her down, whatever the case may be. She hit her head and was knocked out. And he's up there, because he hides the Kite at this point. And he plays this role. He plays this dog on high as a kite role. Because he's sitting there, he's like, he don't know what to do. He's talking about he got a problem. I'm sorry, Fatima. I got a problem. I'm sorry, Fatima. I'm sorry. And though, while he's sitting there, he threw the purse down. He still apologizing to her. Now, mind you, Fatima is knocked out. So he's apologizing to her. She don't hear nothing he said. He's apologizing to her. He picks the purse back up. He starts going through the purse. He ain't find nothing. He put it back down. And he's still apologizing, trying to wake her up. It didn't work. And then he picks the purse back up again, goes through it, find a few dollars, or however many dollars he found. He found something. He takes the money out the wallet, put it in his pocket, and said he gonna pay her back when he gonna pay her back is a good question, because he gonna be high as kite. And he's saying he's sorry. He's still saying he's sorry. Angela is walking through the parking deck trying to get her hookup for the night, because Angela has become nothing but a little thought. So she's coming through trying to get her little thought hooked up for the night. And she walks up on, Fatima laid out on the ground. So she go to screaming, Fatima, wake up. And they can't get her to wake up. So she calls police and she calls for an ambulance. And she tells Jeremiah to stay right there, because, he was like, I didn't do nothing. She fell. I didn't do nothing. And he was like, he was finna go. And she said, don't think I don't know who you are, Jeremiah. When she said that, I thought Jeremiah was going to hit her. I really did. But he eventually ran off screaming, he didn't do nothing. So, next thing we know, we'll see where the paramedics, well, we don't really see the paramedics say anything. We'll see where Fatima is up and she's talking to Angela, and she tells Angela that the paramedic told her that her and the baby was fine. Because when she first fell, I was like, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem, and it's going to be a big problem whenever Zach finds out. It is going to be a big problem. And of course, Fatima tried to lie about the situation, saying that she fainted. Angela's like, you lying, because, I saw Jeremiah, so I know what happened. Well, then she tells her, what she knows of that happened. So Angela's telling her they need to have Jeremiah locked up. She called Fatima. She's like, Fatima, how are you going to hide this from Zach? Because she had a big old bruise on her forehead. So she calls Zach to see where he is and how long it will take him to get home. Probably so she can go home and try to put some makeup and cover up that bruise. Because, baby, that bruise was bruised, and she had a nice little thing upside her head. But back at the office, Bryce said that his father can't give him the money, and he apologizes again to Zach. Zach re-emphasizes that he told Bryce not to invest in that property, and that they took $1.5 million from his account, and he kept apologizing. And Zach is like, why do you keep apologizing? How is that supposed to help me? I am broke. There's no money in my account. I cannot bury my mother. Your sorries and apologies is not benefiting me. That can't help me. And he was like, how do you expect me to pay for my mother's funeral with your credit cards? So, of course, Preston is asking about the investment. They tell him about y'all got to forgive me, because I'm like, I feel like I missed some stuff. Nah, evidently I didn't. I went through it. But anyway, he tells them about how he, about the investment. They are $3 million in the hole. Preston said Preston was asking about the investments and stuff. So I feel like Preston is going to bail them out of the situation, because he did end up telling Bryce that, he didn't have, I don't know if he had that kind of money or not, but he said that he could help with paying for Zach's mom's funeral, and he would tell him after he calmed down, because at this point Zach has gone literally ballistic. He is hot. He's heated, and you can't be mad at him, because he told this man, y'all supposed to be business partners, so you gonna sit here and say, well, he can't just, we're 50-50 partners, he can't just veto that without me. But why can't he? If you don't have the money, he can veto everything. You ain't got the funds, so you just gonna take it upon yourself to say, hey, we gonna do this. and the money is coming out of his account, not yours. That's really fucked up. But then he's like, he's sorry, he's sorry, he's sorry. Baby, sorry don't live here no more. You take them sorries and shove them. Anyway, the next thing we'll see is where Connie, Tony, and Nate, they're playing cards. Belinda comes by and they're reminiscing and talking about how bad Zach's mom was on drugs back in the day. While they're sitting there talking cash shit, playing cards and stuff, Jeremiah walks through and they was like, Jeremiah, come over here. That's basically all they said. And the first thing out his mouth, I ain't do nothing. They like, what you talking about? I ain't do nothing to Fatima. She failed. I ain't do nothing. She failed. I ain't do nothing. So of course, at this point, they don't believe him. They just know at this point something done happened. For you to be sitting here saying you ain't do nothing when they didn't even ask you if you did something, they know something's wrong. So now they're like, we need to go see Zach because it's something going on. Oh, high as a kite brother that did something. We'll also see where Bryce goes to see Angela. He goes to talk to her, and he's telling her about how his dad won't give him the money. I mean, $1.5 million is a lot, even if that is your dad. That's a lot for somebody to come up off of, especially for some mess that you decided to do on your own. But anyway, while he was there talking to him, the new guy that she was trying to set up her little booty call earlier, he shows up. Angela puts Bryce out. New guy decides to say, old dude keeps showing up. And Angela like, he ain't nobody. So he was like, well, you treat me like a piece of meat. Belinda said, shit, she just want a piece of ass. That's all she wants. She want to have fun. She want to get her groove on. And that's it. So I guess after they done did they little freaky deaky and whatever, she gets up and she calls Belinda back to find out what Belinda wanted with her earlier. Belinda lets her know that while she was in the hood, about how Jeremiah was telling them that he didn't do anything to Fatima. Fatima just failed. He had nothing to do with it, and whatever the case may be. So Angela gets off the phone with her and calls Fatima to let Fatima know what he has told Nathan, Connie, Tony, and Belinda. So she lets Fatima know what's going on. Fatima gets off the phone with her, calls Zach to find out where he is. He tells her, he's pulling up now. She calls Tony, who doesn't answer the phone. Then she calls Angela back, and Angela tells her she's on her way. They ask, where is Zach? And she was like, we know he said he was pulling up. I'm like, well, if he's pulling up, he should have came in the house by now. So Fatima gets up and she goes to peek out the window. Or did she open the door? She did one of the two. And evidently Zach is in the driveway. But she's like, oh my God. And she tells Angela to hurry up and get there. Why she's saying that? Probably because in the driveway is Connie, Nate, and Tony. Because when they actually go back to where she opens the door to go out the door, you'll only see Zach where he turns and he smiles at her. And that's it. That's where the episode cuts off at. So I'm pretty sure he's out there talking to somebody. And with everything that's going on, I hope he don't kill his brother. I really hope he does that. Now, would it surprise me? It wouldn't. But at the same time, brother doing some foul stuff now. I know brother ain't doing stuff in his right mind, but it's some foul stuff. You out here trying to get money so you can go buy you some crack, some cocaine, some marijuana, just whatever that is you out there you trying to do, you need to leave that stuff alone. But anywho, that is it, and that is all for these 2 episodes. So with that being said, I will be back Saturday night, hopefully, with the Real Housewives of Potomac. But outside of that is it. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.